Welcome to the Benzano Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. You bet. Famous words from ESPN's #1 play-by-play announcer for WNBA basketball, Ryan Ruocco. Not only that, Ryan Ruocco's followed Caitlin Clark from her days in Iowa, called seems like all of her March Madness tournament games. Ryan Ruocco's done a good deal of scouting on Caitlin Clark and her game. He understands, he knows how you should build the team around Caitlin Clark. He goes on a podcast called Girls Trip, and he speaks on this Indiana Fever roster, specifically saying roster construction, not the best currently in Indiana. They need a stretch four. Monique Billings, she sits at the three-point line, but she's not a stretch four. She might hit one occasionally, but she's not a stretch four. Ryan Ruocco also talks, this is the best pick-and-roll player in the league. He doesn't specifically say that. I'm not sure why they're not doing more pick-and-rolls, but you know that's what he's thinking. Let's get right into it, shall we? Like the video, hype the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Here he is. Couple quick quotes. Caitlin Clark is the best pick-and-roll player in the league. Yeah, we've all been saying that. I still don't think that our roster is perfectly constructed. A perfectly constructed Indiana Fever roster would have a stretch four and a 3 and D3. A consistent 3 and D3. In my perfect world, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull would both be coming off the bench. Sophie, Lexi, and Monique Billings would be coming off the bench. Now, you want to talk about depth. You have those three coming off the bench along with a Raven Johnson, along with a Michaela Timpson. I like what I'm seeing. As far as a stretch four goes, we don't even need to look outside of our roster. Justine Passat, step right up. Let's see what you got. You were a sniper in college. Come be a sniper for this Indiana Fever basketball team. Let's hear what Ryan Ruocco had to say.
TV. What's the team kind of sitting in that category?
You know what? I'm going to say the Indiana Fever. They're an electric vehicle right now, and I want to know, did they just get a charge? Okay, anybody who's ever done any kind of reflection about emotions knows that sometimes it just all needs to come out and then you go from there, right? Rather than repress feelings, and that turns into resentment, and then that's kind of a weight you're carrying. And one of the curses for Indiana is every single...
I do think part of that sideline blow up that they're not telling us was a blow up, but it was clearly a blow up. I think part of that was a coming out because there are some repressed feelings from both sides. Maybe Caitlin Clark's not being as vocal when it comes to the offense. She's going along with it, but internally she knows this isn't really it. When it comes to the defense, switching everything, she's going along with it, but she knows this isn't really it. And then Stephanie White, I mean, we know all the things that this Indiana Fever front office says about Caitlin Clark behind the scenes. It's hard to think that Stephanie White doesn't share some of those same thoughts, some of those same feelings. So she's just gonna let it out, gonna lash out.
One of their games, every single moment they have, is scrutinized on a level that no other team in this league experiences, right?
Yeah.
But one of the blessings for Indiana is that gives a vehicle to get tension out in the open early, right? And so Indiana has this moment where, you know, they put on a horrendous performance against Portland. And, you know, because before that, they were 4-2 going into that West Coast trip, you know, and Caitlin Clark was an early MVP candidate, averaging 24-9, right? It's not like the sky was falling. Nobody really played well against Golden State. They still managed to be in that game, lost close. Okay, whatever. The Portland game, they played poorly. There was obviously well dissected sideline drama. There was also just like you could feel a lack of connectivity and verve in how they played. But you know what it did? It got them to have a 2 hour meeting that I know a lot of the players have talked about now this week.
Now, I will say this when it comes to that meeting, I don't think that meeting is had if that sideline incident isn't blown up. Not literally, I mean, it was a big deal. If it's not blown up and talked about as much as it was. And I don't think that 2 hour meeting happens if the fans aren't as vocal as they are. If the fans' expectations aren't as high as they need to be, they wouldn't be feeling the pressure from the outside and they wouldn't think that the sky is falling. Instead, they felt the pressure from the outside. They're looking around saying, we should be better than this. This offense should be better than this. This defense should be better than this. We need to have a talk because us not talking clearly isn't working right now. So I do believe the fans had a part in pushing them to have a 2 hour meeting. I do believe the people talking about that sideline blowup played a part of this team having that 2 hour meeting.
Where you get to talk about everything and you get a chance to get on the same page and connect the players and the coaching staff. And so I'm really curious. We're recording this Thursday morning. They're playing Atlanta tonight. That's going to be a tough game for them, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really curious how they respond because I feel like
they won that game. The offense was still nothing to be desired, but defensively there were some adjustments. We didn't switch everything. And when we were on an island one-on-one, the help defense was better. I'm not going to do backflips and celebrate yet, but that one game was indeed better.
Now, I still don't think their roster's perfectly constructed. Oof. I do believe that, you want Caitlin Clark's the best pick and roll player in the league. You want to stretch four. This Indiana roster hasn't been constructed to give her the most space possible, in my opinion.
In all of our opinion, Ryan. We're all there with you. We agree.
However, Monique Billings has other strengths. Screen assist. She's just getting acclimated. Started the season a little hurt.
Yeah, we're 10 games in. I mean, Stephanie White needs to do something to get Monique Billings to perform better. Now, Monique Billings has been a career backup, so it's not all necessarily her fault. We've seen Veronica Burton leave Stephanie White's system, and Veronica Burton's thriving over there in Golden State. We see Natasha Howard play well, come to the Indiana Fever. Didn't play nearly as good as she's playing now that she's out of Stephanie White's offensive system. She's playing with a Cheryl Reeve. So Stephanie White needs to take some onus on why Monique Billings isn't performing as well as we all were expecting her to perform. She's not even performing at her average. She's performing at below average. She's hitting get off my court territory. She's pushing that territory.
And you have a big three that's as good as any big three in the league, right? With Aaliyah, with Kelsey, and with Caitlin. So this team has a chance to be great still. And I think that they can use what just happened and their controversy as a springboard to find some deeper connectivity, to play with a verve. And I'm excited to see whether or not that happens in the aftermath, because I believe their electric vehicle may have just gotten an early season charge. And one thing I thought about, Jordan, was
hopefully it got a charge. I'm a gas guy. Hopefully we filled up the tank, right? Maybe this is a V8 and we're putting regular in a V8. Now we got to put some super in there. We got to put some premium in that bad boy so it runs nice. We'll see. We'll see if that has any carryover to today's game. The venue will be open tonight against the New York Liberty. New York Liberty without Sabrina Ionescu. The Indiana Fever are going in, as of right now, fully healthy. The New York Liberty without Sabrina Ionescu. Although we're on the road, without a Sabrina, should be a game we should win. Without a Sabrina. But you just never know with this team. You just never know what's going to show up. Offensively, defensively, it's like throwing dice. You can hope for the best, but you never know what's going to pop up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, hype the video, and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Hit that notification bell while you're at it. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.